I'm Kyle, that's Gina. Most times we don't know what we're doing. Welcome to Boosted Lifestyle. So last time we pulled some of the wrap off here, which exposed our little sperm flames in the paint job. Not keeping it like that, it's gonna get wrapped again. And then we finished up most of our piping, excluding this 12-inch section, which everybody needs 12 inches. And I have a piece of pipe ordered for that and it shows up tomorrow. I've been working on getting the air to water system out of the back of the car, and so we're gonna continue doing that. And we're gonna try and get a little bit of weight out of the car, so we might pull the interior out and see what we can pull out from underneath that carpet that's inside there. Dang, look at this thing. So I've never had an air shifter before. You can tell that this one's an air shifter because, you know, it has an air solenoid on it.
You can tell that it's an Aspen tree because of the way it is.
And if nothing else, this should make us more consistent, but I've been shifting at like 6,500 by accident first gear anyways. Hopefully this gives us like a 0.1 of a second. We're aiming for that 4-second 8th mile pass. And we just need a little bit of everything to come together and make it work. That's asking a lot. I can do it!
You can do it! I believe in you!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah!
The bajillion self-tappers that this car is built with have to come out? Oh, they're not even self-tappers. Interesting. I guess anything can be tapped if you self it hard enough. Hey, Gina.
Hi.
Anytime you want to get out of here now, that'd be cool. I don't want you anymore. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Cool, that was a couple of pounds. That's my parts of shit that I'm never gonna use again. I left a 14mm socket up here. I would have lost it because I didn't even realize it was up there. My MagnaFuel 750, this thing was a workhorse. However, we do have an aero mode of 5 gallon per minute, brushless, variable pump coming, which be a huge upgrade and hopefully not run out of fuel this time. And out comes our small ass fuel tank. This was actually one of the downsides to our drag and drive car because this thing only held 27 liters, whatever that is in gallons. It's probably only like a little over 5 gallons. Liters. Yeah, 27 liters, whatever that is. It'll give me about 150 kilometers. I'd like to have double this capacity, which there's enough space in there to do it. 50 liters would be nice. We got the fuel system out of the back. I think I found my problem with my fuel situation last year with the fuel pump dying off. Turns out these filters get pretty clogged up. So this one's got a lot of debris in it. I'm just glad this didn't go in the injectors, but that definitely reduced flow. But now we got pipe. You thought I was gonna do this one, didn't you? Huge shout out to Tyson for giving me this. We've got to get the piping done because my powder coating guy is on days off. He does it on his days off. And if I want to get the car done to go for a wrap, this needs to be done ASAP. There's nothing to it. You just cut the pipe, make sure it doesn't fit, cut the pipe again, realize it's too short, cut another length of pipe, put the angle in it, and then weld it up. Simple. Oh baby, how's that for piping? The one thing we have to add before we weld all of this up is a blow-off valve, and it's probably gonna go right here. We have our Black Sheep Industries blow-off valve. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It matches our Black Sheep Industries wastegates. And as you guys know, I am part owner of that company. So any purchase you make on Black Sheep Industries helps me out a ton. Check out True North Turbos if you guys are in the market for a turbo. And make sure you use code Boosted Lifestyle at checkout. Help yourself out. Actually, might go ahead and weld this up first to give it some strength because the tack welds aren't really that strong. So we'll weld this completely up, pull it off again, put the blow-off valve in, we'll be set. There you have it, one giant welded whale wiener. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bead roll this out of the pipe while it's cooling down. And then we'll put it back on, get the blow-off valve situated, and then we'll have some charge piping, baby. And then I gotta get ready for the powder coating guy. You'd think out of all the tools I have in the garage, I would just order a bead roller, but no, I'm stubborn. I'm old school, baby. I don't know, it gives it like a little rough texture too, and I'm like, yeah, it looks like something I would do, because smooth bead rolls are for rookies. Moment of truth, I love this part. It's in the coupler on the bottom. Oh my God, it's almost like I made it to fit good. Look at that, holy buddy. Mind some of the welds down here. This little piece of pipe was actually really thin on the radius, which made it weld a little bit shitty, so a couple of these welds right there don't look perfect. With the top of the radiator here, I'm gonna put a -16 and then a 90-degree fitting, and it's gonna go down below this pipe here. Now the only problem is I have to get from the bottom of the radiator down here to the water pump and then to the manifold here, so the water pump might have to go down somewhere like where the oil filter is. So a couple things with our Black Sheep blow-off valve here. We made it specifically for fabricators and for people who own it. So two things. We made this flange super, super thick. So when you weld it, you don't distort the flange at all, and that is really good. The second thing we did is we integrated the seat into the flange, which means the valve, if it ever fails, which it should never fail, but other companies have been known to fail, it will never fall in your engine because of the way we built the seat here. Just a couple things that we added for security. On top of that, it's a really, really, really great price, so make sure to go check it out, blacksheepindustries.ca. We're just gonna cut this off the best we can to save the radius on it, and then throw it in the lathe to smooth down the welds. So I'm gonna be cutting a lot more of the pipe than I am going to be cutting the flange itself. Once again, $500 mini lathe coming in clutch. It might have been more than that. I lied. It might have been 700 bucks. That cleaned up pretty decent. Should be able to weld that pretty good. That's where it sits on a 4-inch pipe. That'll be fine. Remember when I said how thick the flange was? I wasn't kidding. There's no downside to having a thick flange like this. But there is a downside to having a really thin flange, because if you do warp it at all, then it's ruined. So make them thick, boys. Like that, maybe? So I can show off the blow-off valve just a little bit. Turbo blanket's gonna be here. Oil feed, I think that's a good spot. I don't want it to hit the hood, so it's gotta be pointed down a little bit. Oh, I have one thing. I can almost match the angle of whatever way this way is going with the angle of the blow-off valve. The opposite way. That'd be pretty cool, I think. If that is that angle, then we want that angle this way. Oh yeah, something like that. Right there. The valve is welded on. Next thing we gotta put in is an intake air temp sensor. It's gonna go somewhere right here. And I like to keep an assortment of fittings, just these things are so handy to have and so cheap, but take so long to get if you don't have any. So 8, quarter, 3/8, I think that's what I need. And then we have like 6, -6, -8, -10, 12, 16, 20s. Like I've got basically everything I need in here. Deburring tools around here somewhere. I have 2 of them, and I lost both of them, it appears. Whoa, what are you doing, step bit? I'd rather weld it on the actual hex part of it. I just weld here, move it, weld there, weld, so it's easier for me. It's funny, I keep grabbing this pipe by here thinking this won't be hot, but I totally just welded that flange on. Idiot. That's pipe number 2 done. All welded up. Next up, these new valve covers we got, we have to put -10 bungs in them, and I want to block off the little vent ports here. And then this can has to be chopped probably an inch down below where it is now, because this hits where the hood would go, and I don't want that to happen. And we're gonna weld a bung in it for the vent, because as soon as you vent this to the top of the can, the whole system bleeds like way easier. I think these little vent tubes are just push fit. These are just cheap valve covers off of, I think it might have been Amazon. Yeah, these are just press fit. I bet you if I just put that in the vise and then pull on the valve cover, it's coming. There we go. Now I just gotta weld that little hole up and drill our other hole. I didn't realize there was a coating on this aluminum, and it kind of made this weld a little turdy, so once we powder coat it, it won't be too bad, but I know it's turdy, and I don't like that. I should have known better, because a lot of China stuff comes with like this little clear coating over top of their aluminum. It's weird. All right, keep hustling along, Kyle. We gotta get this coolant can off. There's probably coolant in the bottom of it. Cut it, and then hope for the best, I guess. All right, give that a quick little cut. Go. This should fit. Yeah, right in there. I wanted to countersink it a little bit just to give us a little bit extra height too, so I made it a little bit shorter so it goes on the inside. Big whale intake pipe done. Now I just have to take everything apart, get the intake manifold off, fuel rails off, because I'm going to send the intake manifold to be powder coated. That's what I'm most excited about, so off. Off with your head. I love that song. Heads will roll. Heads will roll on the floor. I want to get this done before I go to the gym. Well, here's everything that's going to powder coat. Is this necessary? Absolutely not. Do I want to do it because I want my car to look great? Absolutely. So it's just something I'm going to do for a personal touch for myself. The car is getting wrapped one color, and I can't decide if I want to make the powder coating the same color as like the outside or close, or like the opposite of the color wheel. Okay, so everything's off to powder coating. I'm not going to tell you what color it is. You guys are going to see next time. I was going to powder coat the turbo, but that's not the turbo that's going to stay on there. We're going to put an 88103 on there. This is the 8896 True North turbos. That one's the wiener wheel. See him in there? Yeah. So it's one on like every blade except for the True North turbo blade. I thought about selling that turbo, but I'm not sure if anybody wants that turbo. So if you do, let me know. I could get rid of that one, because we need a 76 and we need an 88103, so I won't be using this one. The next stage of my plan involves pushing this back a little bit and ripping out all the interior. There's weight in the car that can be found, and we need to find it. We need to lose that 200 pounds that I've been talking about, and I'm doing my best over here. Still no abs, but it's coming. So we're gonna rip both seats out, the carpet out, and see what's on that floor that we can rip out of this thing. Whee! I gotta push it back, downside of the lift. And once we're back here, everything's gotta come out. Why is there toilet paper roll in here? I guess the last time I drove this car was Miles of Mayhem, and it's not used. Nobody had an accidental number 2, but it was in there just in case. Right, Nick? Can't actually film in the car, that'd be next to impossible, but this is some easy weight. It was more of a hindrance than I even like using it, so I think it's time to say goodbye to our center console. Goodbye. 188.2, 194.4, so basically 6 pounds. I think if I need an armrest, I'm a 3D print one. Now Kyle proceeds to make dad noises getting this seat out because it's pretty heavy in an awkward spot because I gotta bring it out this side. Come on. Crazy. Can deadlift 500 pounds. Still struggle to get a seat out. There we go, 2 Kirkies. These things are pretty heavy. Their one being 27 pounds, but I think it's a lot because the sliders on the bottom. This 1x2 1/8 inch thick seat bracket is probably not ideal for, you know, weight. Big old hunker of an STD filled carpet. Just to make sure though. Yep, tastes like syphilis. Can't believe this is my car in here. This is so bad. And with the wiring being the worst part in this thing, I actually have a brand new engine harness coming, and then hopefully do the body harness another time. But it's just like a lot of junk in here. And then behind this is like so bad. I'll show you. All right, you asked for it. There's the wiring, and below all that is actually where all the relays and stuff are. You can't see them, they're covered in wires. So I got my boy over at West Coast Wireworks making us a brand new engine harness for this thing. I just want it to run flawlessly. He's gonna add the IO expander to the harness. That way we can add more inputs and outputs of all the HP, because we're still only running a Holley HP. One thing I noticed about the interior though, a little bit of the sound deadening material on the floor it seems. So I have a little bit to scrape out here, but it's a lot less than I thought it was. But I did buy a brand new carpet, so this had to come out anyways. And I'm sure some of you out there have done weight loss in a Mustang. You could tell me exactly where to find it. I'm sure if I rip off some of the door panels or stuff, I'd find stuff I can Swiss cheese in there. I'm sure behind all these panels in the back, there's some stuff that I can Swiss cheese. Gotta find a weight. Oscillating tool.
Oh, your vibrating tool.
My vibrating tool, 11,000 to 20,000 RPM.
Dang. Can we put a different attachment on the end of that? For me?
Cut to different video, I guess. I seen that dude in blue use one of these to get rid of the sound deadening material on the floor, so I got one so I can try it, and it probably won't work as good, but we're gonna try anyways. Little bzzz. Love that from me.
How does that go?
Okay, there's the material that has to come out. Here's our cool little oscillating tool. And then I've got a small box over here, and this is the weight we were taking out of the car. So I found this in the car, found this speaker cover in the car, and this bracket, and we're just gonna keep a tally of how much weight we pull out of the car. I'd also like to cut a little bit of this stuff out back here behind the dash. Maybe find a little bit more bits and pieces, but first we got to get this off the floor. Okay, that was amazing. If you've ever needed to remove sound material off the floor, one of these oscillating tools is perfect. Oh my God, we're outside. Kyle touched grass, but there's snow on the ground, so he didn't. I don't know. I'm always keeping my eye out for like a shop space. Unfortunately, where we live, it's just so expensive. Like every square foot costs you like $2 a month. So this behind us, 1,600 square feet, I think, roughly $4,000 a month. So you can see where the price comes in, but it would just be like a beautiful space for us. So this particular shop that we're looking at, we haven't seen the inside yet, like through a walkthrough, just through the windows, but there's like a downstairs and then there's like an upstairs mezzanine place for storage. There's a room up there and stuff. The inside probably can fit like 4 or 5 cars. Oh yeah, you can see the inside kind of. So I'm thinking like 2 in this little area right here. There's probably 1 in that little area back there, and then 1 over here with probably a lift. It's Saturday. I tried calling the girl a couple times and no answer yet. So try again on Monday. See if we can look at this thing, because if we're able to swing it, I think this would be a fun move. Like, it just makes me excited to look at stuff like this. It makes my heart happy. Dreams are coming true. It could be like the new HQ, as in like I'd be downstairs, you'd be upstairs, we'd be both under the same roof.
I think it has the potential to really give us the space that we've been craving, to be honest. And that makes me really excited, because basically you're gonna take a blank space and I'm gonna take a blank space and be like, this is what I want.
So this used to be a powerlifting place?
Yeah, crude strength and performance.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, this was crude strength.
Yeah.
So mezzanine area up top here, and then down below, obviously, shop space. And that's a utility room or something. Yeah. Hot water. And this goes upstairs. We're locked in here now. But yeah, this is much bigger than it needs to be. You were right, it is like a glass.
Oh, but nobody's on the other side anyway.
Yeah. It's a really tall door, yeah. If I needed to like service a trailer or something like that, I could bring the trailer right in, and this is the moment of truth, I think. It'll tell us how much space we actually have in here. So, GTI. Oh yeah, we got a blender. Not terrible. It's actually more room than I thought, because you could fit, like if you're not working on them, you can fit 2 side by side here. And then 1 behind it, basically, sideways. Yeah, so I guess next step is figure out what the city wants. If you've made it this far in the video, I guess you can have a sneak preview at the color of the powder coating. You don't know the color of the car though, so that's gonna be a reveal on its own. This shop space has actually got me super excited, but it's also a little bit worrying at the same time. So I don't know how it works in every city, but our city in particular, most times if you want a car in a shop, they want you to have a makeup air unit. They basically don't tell you what it has to be. They just say an engineer has to design it and install it. So we're gonna get a quote on that. From what I'm told, it's anywhere between like $30,000 and $50,000 for us to get into the shop, on top of the $4,000 to $5,000 a month, depending on insurance rates and utilities and stuff like that for the shop space. Those numbers seem wild, but it's just the city that we live in. It's an oil city, and they want so much for so little around here. It's also why you can come here and make $40 or $50 an hour as a laborer. And if it's not gonna be this shop, it's going to be another one. We're strong believers in, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, and if it is, it is. So if this one falls into our lap, we're still gonna push for it, but if this one falls into our lap, it's meant to be, and if it's not, it's gonna be okay. Like I said before, the shop is just very cluttered. I don't have any specific space for storage, so I'm kind of utilizing shop space and storage all as one. And I haven't shown you guys, but I have been working on taking weight out of the car. I'm up to like 20 or 25 pounds of weight out of the inside of the car. And then I have to get everything to go back together, because this thing has to get done running and for a wrap before we go to Texas 2K. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.